The deplorable road network in Agave domain, the South Tongue district of the Volta region, is impeding access to relief items like food flood victims there. This concern was raised by the assembly member for the Agave domain electoral area, Christian Kwesi, when the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana defied the deplorable nature of the road to donate relief items to the flood victims. Carlos Kaloni has more.
The road to Ziwenu is in terrible shape with potholes, dust, and narrow passage. Over 45 houses have crumbled, displacing countless residents. Flood victims need urgent help. When the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, ICAG, donated relief items to the tune of 70,000 Ghana cedis, Assemblyman for Apedume electoral area, Christian Kwesi Voyeho, raised concerns about the road obstructing relief efforts.
Our road is extremely deplorable. Some of our sisters and brothers living in Accra want to come to us, but they found it difficult coming to us because of the deplorable nature of our road. The road is Agave Apedume Road, starting from Gradisco through Makoje, through Asidovi, Akplane to Agave. So we are appealing to the government to come to our aid and construct this road for us.
The journey to these communities was backbreaking, to say the least. The estimated 15-minute trip along the 14-kilometer road took the team well over an hour to navigate. Upon arrival, the team had to endure an additional 6-minute walk to reach the riverbank.
We are going to Ziwenu in the Agave Apedume electoral area, and it's because we don't have a direct access. The flooding water has cut the Ziwenu community off.
Your experience?
It was terrible.
It was what?
But it was a nice experience.
Following a thorough assessment of the damage here, the team provided hot meals to the victims along with mattresses, blankets, bags of rice and more. Speaking to JoyNews, the Director of Finance and Administration at the ICAG, Joyce Opoku-Dodu, explained that this donation aligns with the organization's commitment to ensuring environmental sustainability.
Looking at the devastating nature of what has happened, we decided to also come and do our bit to bring some comfort into the lives of these people. As an institute, this year is our 60th anniversary, and the theme for our 60th anniversary is promoting sustainability, nurturing trust, and building partnership. Sustainability for us is all about the environment. It is very unfortunate that this is happening, but what we can do to make somebody feel a bit comfortable, to make some people have a very peaceful sleep, that is why we are here, and that is what we have done. We believe that these mattresses will go a long way to help. The blankets will be used to cover the young ones who have been exposed.
However, Madame Dodu made a heartfelt plea to the authorities, urging them to address the deplorable road situation to enhance relief efforts.
We thought we were coming to a village close to Ada, but then when we started turning off the main road, we realized that we asked ourselves how many people will even drive on this road and come and give hand of help to our people. It's so sad. The road is so terrible, and if you don't take care, it will put you off and you go back to Accra with your things. But because we were determined to make an impact, we went through it, and then we are here. We are just praying that we'll go back safely on the road, and our cars will be able to get back to Accra safely. But we are appealing to the government. These people need help, and the help should be able to come on quite a good road. People should be encouraged to come. So if something can be done about the road, so that those who want to help them will be able to drive here and help them.
The assemblyman expressed his gratitude to ICAG for their benevolent gesture.
I once again want to thank Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana for coming to our aid during this damage that the spillage has caused to the people of Agave Apedume, specifically the people of Gojekota, the people of Apedume, Asidobi, and then Akroti communities. We want to say that we appreciate the relief items given to us.
As the Akosombo Dam Spillage continues to ravage these hard-to-reach communities, it becomes paramount to prioritize relief efforts in these areas. Carlos Galoni, Joy News.
Well, the Akosombo flood disaster continues to significantly impact education. Some affected students have turned to hawking and doing menial jobs to make ends meet. Among them is Abednego Agbo, an 18-year-old first-year student of Komboni Vocational Technical School. He now sells Agave biscuits in the bustling traffic of Sogakope in the South Tongue district of the Volta region. He laments his dream of becoming an immigration officer is at risk if the flood situation persists. Carlos Coloni once again.
This is Komboni Technical Vocational Institute, which has remained locked and inaccessible for weeks due to floods induced by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. The fate of the 1,700 students hangs in the balance. While students in other regions receive their lessons, those affected by this disaster in the school resort to menial work due to closure of their classrooms. Abednego Agbo, an 18-year-old first-year student studying automobile engineering, now sells Agave biscuits in the midst of traffic jams in Sogakope. He tells Joy News how worried he is about the loss of lessons.
I'm from Sogakope, yeah. I'm schooling at Komboni Technical Institution. And right now, as we all know, the Volta River has flooded, and our compound now is flooded. So we are no more going to school. So I'm here to manage this one after that. Then when the water comes down, then we go back to school. So we are waiting, and we are begging the government that it should come to our aim to come and help us so that we'll go to the school before the ending of this year. Yeah.
Which year are you and what are you reading?
Okay, I'm in first year and I'm offering automobile engineering. Yeah, so right now when you go to the school, you see that our department all over there is water. So we are begging the government, if not, our machines will get damaged. And when we resume school, we don't know which machine we use to do practical works again. We are not going to school, so now we don't know where to go and learn again. So as for some of us, we are the host home and we are learning on our own. So we are begging the government, because they said before the water comes, they said we are going to write exam. So but right now we are at home. It's left with 2 weeks to start the exam.
Abednego says he fears his dream of becoming an immigration officer in future may be in jeopardy if the situation persists.
Some of my colleagues too, some are riding motor and some are fishing in other communities. And me too, this is what I want to be doing so that at the time that the water will come down, then we'll go back to school. Yes, for me, my vision is to become an immigration officer in future. So because of this, that's why I'm going to the school. So I'm begging the government to come to our aim and help us so that I can achieve my aim in future.
Speaking to Joy News, the principal of Komboni Technical Vocational School, Harry Peter Ajima, insists there is an urgent need for intervention plan to keep the students out of the streets.
1,700 who are first and second years who are still with us. They are affected. They have not finished their semester. They are supposed to finish their semester 30th November, but we are now in the house. And we don't know whether we can come to school before then. So they are badly affected. And as students as they are, once they are not in school, some of them take to this Okada riding, selling at the bridge side. So as they are not in school, they are doing that. And it's the reason why we think there must be some authentic plan to let them either be attending class somewhere or maybe when we school we can recover within 3-4 weeks. Then we have intervention plan to cover for it, cover for the lost periods.
Even though floodwaters seem to be receding in some affected areas, it remains uncertain when normal academic activities can resume. Carlos Caloni, Joy News.
Still on the floods, flood victims in the Sojaman district of the eastern region are pleading with government and individuals to support them financially after they lost their homes and economic lives. Communities upstream, including Kodikokpe, have been taken over by the floods, with affected houses collapsing in the process. Abume, Beji, Dijokope, among other downstreams, are bearing the brunt over the Akosombo Dam Spillage by the Volta River Authority. This came to light during a visit by the Chief Executive Officer for the National Youth Authority, Pius Enam Hajide, when he donated to the area.
Kudikope is one of the upstream fishing communities in the Sojaman district of the eastern region, impacted by the overflow of the Volta River from its source in Mali and Burkina Faso. Over the last 1 month, members of the affected communities have had their houses collapse and existing structures weakened as the flood water continues to wreak havoc. Having lost their economic lives to the situation, they say Sojaman District NADMO is yet to come to their aid, despite visiting the area and assuring them. Headman at Kudikope, Kudi Kofi, disclosed this to Joy News when Chief Executive Officer of the National Youth Authority, Pius Enam Hajide, donated to the victims. We have been hit by the flood and have received no support, despite NADMO and other officials being here. Those affected have no place to lay their heads. Unfortunately, some community members had their buildings collapsing upon receiving victims as the water continues to weaken structures here. We desperately need help. Sojaman NADMO came here empty-handed. Some victims are calling on government to urgently assist them. The water has destroyed our homes, and we find ourselves in a very difficult situation. All we are asking for is help. Government needs to come to our aid. The past few weeks have not been easy for us. The flood has rendered us homeless, destroying our belongings, and are forced to patch with other community members. We are on our knees pleading with NADMO to help us. Chief Executive Officer for National Youth Authority and parliamentary hopeful in the Sojaman constituency, Pius Enam Hajide, after donating bags of rice, oil, and an amount of money to the victims, asked the district NADMO office to do more in helping the victims.
The Volta River has overflown its banks and it is entered into the community and it's destroyed a number of houses. And so I came to see for myself, to talk to the people, to sympathize with them and to empathize with them and support them. I also want to use this opportunity to appeal to the disaster management organization, the NADMO. I also want to appeal to all well-wishers, philanthropists, people of goodwill to come to our aid.
Away from floods in the Volta region, the flag bearership elections of the governing NPP has reached its home stretch as the General Secretary, Justin Frimpong Kodia, is leading the elections committee for an engagement with the police for full protection in the upcoming Congress slated for November 4. According to Mr. Kodia, the party admits the unfortunate infractions recorded during the Super Delegates Conference and will not want same to recur. The General Secretary has tasked the police, therefore, to take full control without favor during the November Congress.
Secretary, all of us are going to follow the dictates as indicated by the Electoral Commission and the Ghana Police Service. On 26th of August, the respective institution, the Ghana Police Service and the Electoral Commission, did a romance job. And we are looking forward to even better what happened on August 26th. I must admit that there were certain bit of infractions on 26th of August, and we are hoping that come November 4th, these things will not happen. So, Mr. IGP and your team, we have absolute support of the party. On that day, look at it without fear or favor and act and do your work as you professionally always do. You have our full support of the party and the Electoral Commission likewise. Thank you very much, and we are wishing for successful work.
Well, the IGP, Dr. George Akosombo Dam Spillage, on its part, has assured its readiness to provide what he describes an overdose of security to ensure a peaceful Congress.
The first leg will work together, and in August, we were able to have a successful first leg of that exercise. And we have November 4th ahead of us for the final leg of that exercise. And we look forward also to early next year to work with you as you work towards selecting your parliamentary candidate. We've done the same for the other major political party, the NDC, and it has been successful all at this level. And we want to use this opportunity to thank all the political parties, and today the MPP in particular, for cooperation extended to us, for us to create a platform in an engaged fashion to work together to deepen our democracy. That is all what we require for Ghana to continue to be a beacon of hope in a sub-region and in the African continent and beyond, and for people to continue also to learn from us as we continue to make this country great and strong. Having said that, we want to assure you that on the 4th, we are going to give you an overdose of security, and it will be excellent. It will be awesome. All what we require from you is to support us, for each and every one of us to play his or its role. And then with that, we'll be able to ensure that the police will do their work, the EC will do their work, and all the people who will be voting across the country will also come out freely, willingly to vote. And all the agents will also do what they're supposed to do for all of us to finish that process and for all of us to be winners at the level of the party, at the level of the country, and also at the level of the continent.
The Electoral Commission, on the other hand, has indicated its preparedness to supervise the elections despite a few challenges. Samuel Tete is Deputy Commissioner at the Electoral Commission.
The conduct of the election solely rests with the Electoral Commission. And for that matter, there should be a series of engagements, which this meeting is one of it. We need to prepare adequately and then make sure that the election is successfully conducted. We have issues like recruitment of officials for the elections, issues like printing of ballots, issues relating to agents who will be represented at all the polling stations, and so many other issues. So far, the engagement with the security services as well as the elections committee of the NPP has actually gone on well, and we are looking forward to have the final selection of a presidential candidate on the 4th of November. We are almost close to the date, and the commission is not leaving any stone unturned. We are doing all what we could to make the election successful.
The rifts between Old Vandals Association and the management of the University of Ghana continue to deepen as a former accuses the current management of a deliberate hatred against affiliates of the Commonwealth Hall. The two stakeholders of Ghana's premier university for some time now have been engaged in both verbal and legal tussles over some decisions of the management, which the association describes as vindictive and unjust. Isaac Nketia Sapon, who is the national president of the Old Vandals Association is accusing the management of the university for brutalities against students of the hall. The following report has more.
The management of the University of Ghana and all students of Commonwealth Hall have been at each other's neck over issues of students' accommodation, riots, and numerous court actions. According to the Old Vandals Association, affiliates of Commonwealth Hall have become victims of deliberate hatred emanating from the management of the university. Addressing a news conference on Wednesday, the national president of the Old Vandals Association, Isaac Nketia Sapon, blamed management for crippling the function of the university as a training ground for national leaders.
It must be echoed right here that the future of the University of Ghana, situated at Legon, the hill of knowledge, of which we are proud alumni, is threatened by the continuous promotion of tyranny, autocracy, administrative arbitrariness, which remain at the heart of its decision-making. The voices of students through NOS, SRC, JCR systems that hitherto served as incubation centers for national leaders have now been rendered moribund. As to what the motive of the current crop of leaders at the university are, only time will tell. That a deep-seated dislike for the Commonwealth Hall and Vandals by the current University of Ghana administration has no basis.
He says the perceived rivalry between affiliates of Commonwealth and Mensa Saba halls is untrue, insisting that the two halls are best of friends.
There is a misconception that we need to correct using this medium. And we are talking about the so-called Mensa Saba and the Vandal City rivalry. Vandals of the Commonwealth Hall and Vikings of the Mensa Saba Hall are the best of friends on campus. This notwithstanding, we also know that occasionally a misunderstanding may crop up which may result in conflict. As we speak, members of these two halls are not at loggerheads, as the University Authority may want us to believe.
Various businesses, including one of Ghana's leading oil palm companies, Benso Oil Palm Plantation in the Western region, are struggling to operate due to the terrible nature of roads in that enclave. The deteriorating Kejebrul-Mpoho Benso Road in the Western region has worsened their daily operations. What was once an economic lifeline has now become a stifling nightmare. Samuel Kujabris has been there for Joy News.
Year after year, the government has looked on for the total deterioration of the Kejebrul-Benso Road. This road, used to facilitate the quick transportation of semi-finished goods from the Benso Oil Palm Plantation, BOP, to their clients in Tema. But today, the road has become a major headache to the company, almost grounding their operations.
For the past 2 weeks, we've not sent even a drop of CPO to our refinery in Tema. We had about 12 tankers parked here in our yard as we speak, just waiting for an improvement in the condition of the road so we can send them. We tried one this afternoon, and the results has not been quite encouraging.
100 meters distance could take about 3 minutes with trucks wobbling on the deteriorated road. BOP's Estate and Plantation Manager Kwesi Ba Ofori spoke about the dire consequences of the bad road on the company.
So once the road is in this condition, we are not able to send our crude palm oil to our refinery in Tema. And it gets to the point that our tanks have to be full and we cannot continue with production. We have to shut down production. And mind you, this plantation employs over 2,000 employees, and they are all accommodated on this site. They all live in the plantation, in the estate, so the impact is quite dire. And we are talking about over thousands of farmers who also supply our mill, and once the mill is full of CPO, we will not be able to keep up with the production, and all these farmers will eventually be impacted.
BOP is not the only company feeling the pinch. Residents of the area also feel the pain of bumping gullies. Alfred has been driving on this road for 2 years. We met him repairing his broken down vehicle along the road.
This road doesn't help us at all. We suffer a lot on it. When you work for 3 days, you have to take everything you got to do maintenance. So are we progressing or retrogressing? This road is terrible. It is not helping us at all.
Alfred says vehicular breakdowns leave holes in his finances, with clients also refusing to pay more for transportation due to the current economic squeeze. The driving business is no longer lucrative.
Taxis, what 30 cities,
As soon as it rains, taxis take 30 cedis. Meanwhile, if the road was good, I'm not sure they would even charge 10 cedis. The residents here who don't have cash suffer. So imagine what will happen if there is someone who needs urgent medical attention. We plead with government to come and construct this road for us.
Several of the trucks which load Bob's semi-finished product to their client in Tema are grounded in the company for weeks because of the poor nature of the road. Driver Abdullahi Moro is frustrated.
Because of so too much all the time.
We spend too much time when we come here because of the poor nature of the road, and it often rains in this place too. If the company grader doesn't pull you from this place to Kejebro, for you to continue, you can't go. Even with that, we still suffer.
All the time, no.
To him, the situation is affecting the finances of the drivers.
A financial problem.
It is only when you are able to transport the products to Tema that you get your bonus. If you are not able to go, you can't get it. So it affects our finances.
The estate and plantation manager for the Benso Oil Palm Plantation, Kwesi Ba Ofori, says the nature of the road is having a telling impact on the operations and their contribution to the local economy.
I mean, the impact is impact on even the Ghana Stock Exchange. We are quite a big company. We are making a lot of impact in the lives of the communities within which we operate. Just last year, we bought palm fruits, to the tune of over 40 million Ghana cedis from farmers. This year, as of September, we've bought over 62 million Ghana cedis. Yes. That is the kind of amount of money we are pouring in the communities. And once our product is not able to go to its final destination, eventually, if we are not able to send it to its final destination, then we can not also continue buying from the farmers. And, the farmers will eventually also suffer losses.
Residents and Bob are all calling on government to expedite road construction.
As the death tolls in the Israel-Hamas war soar and calls for a ceasefire and the need for humanitarian support increase, JoyNews has been engaging envoys of the two warring factions in Ghana, the ambassadors of Palestine and Israel, on the development. Speaking on the polls with Blessed Sogan yesterday, the Palestinian ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Abdel Fattah Ahmed Khalil al-Satari, said there is a need for Israel to be impressed upon to cease fire. He explains that children and women are being heavily attacked and that must stop.
People like to say that Hamas attacked Israel on that day. Because of that, Israel attacked Palestine. The conflict did not start in the 7th of October. The conflict started when Israel started to occupy my people and my country and our lands. From 1967 to now, hundreds of thousands from my people killed by the Israelis. And this is not the first war, as your friend said, against Gaza. In 2014, Israel killed more than 2,650 from my people. And 5 of them was children. I cannot understand. Those children attacked Israel with the rockets. The children entered the border and attacked the Israeli soldiers and the settlers inside Israel. In that war, 2012, the Israelis killed more than 700 from my people. And Israel attacked Gaza. Not Gaza attacked Israel. In the war 2012, the Israelis killed more than 700 from my people. In the war 2014, they killed more than 2,000 people.
On her part, the Israeli ambassador to Ghana, Shlomit Sofa, speaking with Evans Mensah on PM Express, said there's currently no room for peace talks until Israel has dealt with the threats to its people, suggesting Iran has a hand in activities at the Gaza Strip.
Anyone talking about with the Palestinian representative, over 220 hostages taken to the Gaza Strip, including a 6-month-old baby. What kind of monster will snatch babies from their beds and hold them? We don't know where. There's no telling of their well-being. They have no connection to their families. There's no connection to the Red Cross. We need to see the international community focusing on, you're talking about humanitarian issues. We want to see how the rights of the Israelis being held, and not just Israelis, by the way, also a couple of dozens of foreigners, held. We've seen pictures of these children held in cages.
That may be the case, and
this is not the time to talk about peace.
It's not the time to talk about peace.
It is not the time to talk about peace, because if you stop now, Israel, if you stop us and do not enable Israel to destroy Hamas capabilities.
Meanwhile, international relations and conflict resolutions expert Emmanuel Bombande says Ghana must not be seen as taking sides with Israel while looking on as if the lives of Palestinians don't matter. He's urging the government to condemn the continuous attack on Gaza. He also spoke on polls.
First of all, the foreign ministry must come again. You cannot talk about the right of Israel to defend itself and be silent on the human rights of the Palestinians who are suffocating, besieged, and occupied, and expect that your statement would have value. Because that statement is spineless and it does not represent the overall people of Ghana. Why do I say that? Because Ghana is the black star that was the trailblazer against the oppression of Africans. Africans, more than anybody else, understands what it means to fight for freedom. 400 years of slavery, more than 200 years of colonization that continues with neo-colonization, and the fight for liberation and independence. So we are in solidarity with anybody in this world who is under oppression. But that solidarity is meaningful when we support justice.
Ghana's teeming youth are prone to addiction to the internet and also to gambling. We'll be bringing you details of all of that plus business shortly after this break.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. South African business owners have expressed interest in contributing to Ghana's housing and construction sector as a result of the role both countries play in promoting intra-Africa trade. This is according to the Minister of Housing and Settlements for South Africa, Imoloko Kubai. She spoke to Joy Business after signing an MOU with Ghana's Minister of Works and Housing, Francis Asenso-Boakye, as part of her state visit. The visit by the South African Minister for Housing and Human Settlements and private sector players in the housing sector is expected to provide mutual grounds for further investment areas and innovative ways to support each other. Ghana will use the opportunity to open up its housing and construction sector to South African investors and vice versa. According to the South African Minister, Imoloko Kubai, Ghana plays a critical role in the continent, hence the move to collaborate.
What can we do in terms of property development, ensuring that we broaden the work in terms of construction, obviously the B2B, how do we exchange the experiences and the companies, because it's not only about South African companies finding opportunities in Ghana, but also Ghanaian companies finding opportunities in South Africa. So learning through that, I would understand the strength of Ghanaian companies that we could be able to utilize. Also in terms of financing, as you say, we do have quite also the FDIs that we have at home. Are they able to come and invest in Ghana? The president has been driving investment drive together with the cabinet and the minister here. So we are here to also see how best can we contribute in terms of ensuring that the investment drives becomes a success.
Ghana's Minister for Works and Housing, Asenso Boakye, applauded the housing initiatives of South Africa and hinted of plans to emulate similar policies to make the country's housing sector attractive.
In fact, during the reign of President Mandela, in 5 years, 1 million houses were constructed. That's unprecedented in the history of housing in Africa. We take a lot of inspiration from South Africa in the area of institutional development. You will recall that since I assumed office, I have been promoting the establishment of a national housing authority. As we speak, there's no housing authority that is in charge of the planning and the management of housing, affordable housing development in our country. South Africa is the country that we take inspiration from. This and many others that we will be discussing.
Now, Accra Breweries Limited has launched the Club Lagers Cheers to Charlie's, a first of its kind for the company. The initiative, according to the company, is to give back to the community that has made Club Lager a household name. According to brand's manager, Emanuela Odamite, the company is poised to deepen its relationship with customers. She spoke to Joy Business at the launch at Demord at North Kaneshi here in Accra.
We can all attest to the challenges that we've been facing as Ghanaians. But then one thing that keeps us going is the support system of our friends and our chalice. And so we launched this campaign to celebrate that support system and to give our friends and our chalice the opportunity to help their families and their friends by winning 10,000 Ghana cedis for them. And so the whole overview of this initiative is to celebrate friendship and also give an opportunity to support that unwavering relationships and connections that we have with our friends and family. The selection process is very transparent. This is because it's going to be live on TV3. And so the 20 random winners that will be selected on a weekly basis are going to be selected live on TV3. So everybody will have access to view it. Now, after we select the 20 random winners, we are going to call you from our end for your redemption. When you are coming in to redeem your prizes, all that you have to do is to bring a valid ID card for us to be able to know who you actually are and then trace you. After you bring your ID card, you can do the redemption at Accra Brewery premises.
Let's do sports now on JoyNews Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla, former Black Stars captain and the Chief Executive Officer of Wembley Sports Construction Limited, Robert Coleman. They have donated to victims of the Akosombo Dam Spillage in Mepe. My colleague Natana Ato was there and comes through with this report.
I'm in Mepe in the Volta region, and this is one of the towns that have been affected by the spillage of the water from the Akosombo Dam. Now, we got here a couple of hours ago, and it's just devastating to see homes that are, submerged in water to this extent. Many families have been displaced, and this is the reality on the ground. You can have a look at this particular home, which is just sitting in the water, and anybody who calls this place home cannot live there anymore. Now, I've got here with me former Black Stars captain Stephen Apea and the CEO of Wembley Sports Construction Limited, who we're collaborating with to do a big donation to the people. Stephen, you've been very reflective today. I mean, we've been sitting here. I mean, we look at this shop, for instance, and you realize it was a beverage store. It's all sitting there. There's no life, no commercial activity going on. Everybody has to go away.
I don't even know what to say. I'm shocked with what I've seen this afternoon. I'm even getting emotional because asking myself if I'm in the same situation with my family. I mean, we have been seeing pictures, we have been watching television. Being here is a different thing. The feeling is different. I'm so sad, so sad this afternoon.
Nat, I have been to this area before. I remember when the MP contacted me, we wanted to do an astroturf here. So I came with my team to assess the place, and coming back to this area to see what is going on, I'm extremely surprised. Like Stephen said, I'm very sad this afternoon. Look at the number of people who are displaced, and it doesn't look like the water is receding anytime soon. So I am extremely devastated by what I have seen here. I want to use this opportunity to call on government. I know government is trying to do something for the good people of the area. I also want to call on corporate bodies to come and help them, because the issue here is extremely pathetic.
And in a few moments we'll head over to the school park to do a donation to the people. The former captain of the Black Stars, Stephen Appiah, and the CEO of Wembley Construction Limited, Mr. Robert Coleman, and my good self, Nathaniel Atto, have decided to come over and support his efforts here so that all of you can get some relief.
Thank you very much. Thank you. On behalf of my people, we want to express our gratitude to you, to Wembley Construction, to our icon, the legend, Stephen Appiah. We are very grateful that you have remembered us in this time of excruciating pain and difficulty. So we are grateful to you. God richly bless you. God bless all your endeavors. And I would like my camp leader to say a few words.
That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. The news continues with Aisha Ibrahim.
Before we wrap up the bulletin, let's talk about the National Science and Maths Quiz. And in the heart of Achimota School, an aura of confidence envelopes the air as they prepare for the grand finale of the National Science and Maths Quiz. Undeterred by the shadows of competition, they stand poised, unwavering in their conviction. Their rivals may see threats, but Achimota says only triumph. Jacqueline and Somayabua caught up with the contestants for Achimota School. Here's what they said.
It's been a very long journey. We started off with preliminaries to 1A stage, then to quarterfinals and to semifinals. We have some few days to the grand finale right here in Accra at the National Theatre. But currently I am here with the contestants of Achimota Senior High School, and we just want to get to know them better. So hello boys, how are you doing? So are you, Kenneth?
I'm fine. My God's grace.
Okay, so we have Kenneth and Walter. Walter, how are you?
I'm so fine.
You're so fine. Are you stressed out?
Not at all.
Not at all. What about you?
Yeah, I'm also good.
I need the full pronunciation of your name. The full name.
Egbajo Kenneth Bakita.
All right, so Kenneth. I think I prefer the Kenneth. So your first contest, how was it for you?
The contest we had first, that was the qualifiers. Before the contest, I was actually tensed, but as we started the contest and I saw that we could actually do it, and then we're actually doing it, and we're able to win with those marks.
But didn't you see it as a daunting task on all of you, looking at the fact that you lost your seed? You were starting from scratch. Didn't you see that as a big task on you, or a big vacuum that you had to fill?
Kind of, but as we're progressing, I knew by God's grace we will be able to do it, and it didn't matter where we were starting from. We just looked ahead and we knew that we were able to do it. So, by God's grace.
What about you? How are you feeling, looking at the fact that it was a big task? Now you have to start right from scratch, unlike previously where you just come as a seeded school, then you're good to go. How did you feel about that?
It was a moment and a chance for us to learn from our mistakes and also build our confidence and become better at what we do. So I think it was a daunting task, but then we also took the opportunity to learn from it and became better.
What were some of the down moments that you had during the contest?
Well, the same semi-finals contest, when in the speed race, when doing too well. Yes, it was not comfortable, as he said. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how well are you preparing? Some few days more before the whole world is watching you right now. How well is preparation going? Anything that you want to share with us?
Okay, we are looking at our previous contest, our contest before this contest, and we are trying to identify the wrongs we did, the mistakes, and then do some polishes to perfect us before the finals.
Okay. What about you two? Preparations on your side?
We are trying our best, and we've got a very strong team with us, to our mates, our coordinators, and we hope that it will bring out a good outcome. So, yeah.
Now, I don't end my conversations without asking this question. You're meeting Opokuwari and Presec Legon. I'll keep on saying that Presec is like a 7-time champion. You are all champions. You've all won the trophy before. But do you see these two schools as a potential threat for you in any sort of way? Because you are coming in with some 41 points from the semi-finals. Presec is coming in with some 44 points, and I think OWAS has 38, I believe. Do you see any of these schools as a potential threat for you? Let me come to you, Walter.
Okay. Every school has good students that they bring for the National Science and Maths quiz. And with every contest, there are different outcomes. So I think you should just prepare very well and then go there and give off your best and see how it plays out. So I don't really see any other school as a threat. I just see this period as an opportunity to prepare yourself for what is to come.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, both schools are doing well in what they are doing, but then I think if you prepare well, and that's what we are doing right now, we're working towards that. Yeah. And if you go, we're just going to answer your questions, and you pray to God that you want to win, yeah. And you also make sure you answer your questions and you deliver your maximum efforts and everything. I think that should be good. So I don't have to consider them as potential threats.
They are hopeful that they will be smiling right at the National Theatre. That is where we will be having the grand finale of the 30th edition of the National Science and Maths Quiz. It has been me right here with the students, the contestants of Achimota School, with their coordinator, knowing very well, getting to know how well they are prepared for the contest ahead. I am Jacqueline Ansma Yeboah.
And that's how I wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjournline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.